Welcome to the School of Wordcraft and Worldmancy. This is Feedback Frenzy.
Hello, I'm WriterGreg, and welcome to the School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. It's time for another Feedback Frenzy. We have another world-building article here that has been submitted at wgc.bz/submit. If you'd like to have your fiction or world building critiqued here live on the Feedback Frenzy, please go visit and submit your content. If you are here on Twitch when these are recorded live, feel free to use the command !submit for more information on that. All right. Thank you so much for being here. And we're going to get into this first article here. This is James's article on dragon scales. This is a material in his in his university article. Wow, that was rough. Okay, so it's pretty short, so let's go and dig in and see what we can do to help expand this article. Again, basic template, basic colors, looks good. So we'll just go ahead and jump into that. Okay, dragon scales is a type of stone that is characterized by its dark gray color. Okay, when the rock face is hit using a pickaxe, the stone breaks away in what looks like dragon scales. These pieces generally come in as big as 10 centimeters and as small as 5 centimeters. The rock can be smoothed down and carved to make sheets and then make glyphs. The stone is found commonly on the island of Wilmhurst Cray in its mountainous regions in which it is mined. When it is mined, it is often found with veins of native copper embedded within it. Alchemdemia. Okay, you can't have in pronunciations. I think I have a pronunciation guide. Pronounce. Okay. BehindTheNames.com provides a wonderful pronunciation guide and how to type it out. If you would use this and make sure, not the IPA, but just the basic pronunciations, and use hyphens to separate syllables, and or you could record yourself saying it and sharing it on Discord. That works as well. Okay, but I really do like the pronunciation guide at BehindTheName.com. So for articles, if you want to include that. Okay, the rock can be smoothed down and carved to make sheets and then make glyphs. Okay, now this is. Okay, so it looks like dragon scales. It's dark gray in color. Okay, now how thin? My first question about this is how thin is, because we have slate, stone. Because it looks, what you're describing here, images, sounds a lot like a slate stone. Okay, here we go. Large natural slate stones, very flat. They break off in different sizes, and so this is what I'm kind of feeling like what you're describing. And so it's interesting, not these slate stones that can be used as pavers, but here is a tile of classic slate that could be used. And when I think of slates, I think of like the primitive blackboards that were used in pre-industrial societies for you have your chalk and you have your slate. And so this is what I'm envisioning that you have described. Now the interesting thing you have here is you are calling this dragon scales. So how thick does it come out? Okay, when you say as big as 10 centimeters or as small as 5 centimeters, is that width, is that length, or is that depth? Adding a little bit more specificity to that will help us imagine it. If it is literally slate, you could grab a picture from public domain or from a reference site to be able to explain, yet this is what it looks like. It's not thickness. Okay, well, that would need to be added to the article. Now, there's no reason why in your world you can't describe or rename a material. It does make it a little bit confusing is because if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and swims like a duck, it should be called a duck. So why is this called dragon scales as opposed to slate or a similar actual material found in real world nature? Now, the thing that you have here is the stone. Okay, when it is mined, it is often found with veins of native copper embedded within it. Okay, that I don't know if that happens in reality, but that is a great little idea that would differentiate dragon scales versus slate. Okay, it breaks away into chunks that look like dragon scales. Okay, do these dragon scales then still have the copper embedded in it? Okay, so let's do where. Okay, what material are copper veins found in? Okay. Earth science or vein. Well, that's a Minecraft. Not going to go on that. Okay, so you could start looking into this and see if it is possible to have copper naturally appear in a slate-like material as veins, or if this is just what happens in your world. Knowing if it actually happens in nature, in human earth nature, will let you know on how much magic it requires to happen in your fantasy world. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have copper appearing in slate, but we would need to have a reason explaining why such things would happen. If it happens naturally, great. You just say it's a natural thing. If it is something that needs to be explained as this is rare because it doesn't happen in nature, that's also good to know as well. When the rock face is hit using a pickaxe, the stone breaks away in what looks like dragon scales. Yes. Does it have? Okay. All right. Yep. So does that always mean? I mean, okay. Well, a picture would be cool. Having more dimensions and more specificity about that is good. Okay. So yeah, this is. Let's look at your glyphs article real quick. Okay. A little bit too much there. Okay. Well, so my recommendation, going through the alphabet, awesome. I like the specificity of using copper within it. I wasn't bored. Confused, not confused, but just concerned about not being able to have a scientific foundation, because the more science that you use within your fantasy, the more believable it could be, and the less amount of hand wavium or magic that you have to use to explain things. Delete, wouldn't delete anything. Expand, I think you should have more information about the slate, how it's mined, maybe a picture of what it would look like, and especially if you could Photoshop or draw copper veins in it. I'm not sure. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. James, thank you so much for submitting this article. And if you would like to have your content critiqued and reviewed, please visit wgc.bz/submit, where you too can have your articles, world building articles, or fiction critiqued in a future episode of Feedback Frenzy. Thank you so much. Have a great day and keep on writing. 18, 0, 3 hours. Okay. That one was pretty short, James. Heavens. Okay, I really can't leave my dice tower. But the nice thing, the dice stayed in the tower. That is awesome. Okay, no dice tower on the bouncy part of the desk. Okay, so let me delete that. Delete row. Do you have another one that's really short? The university one is pretty long. Were tigers. How long is your were tigers? Okay. It's tiger myth. Those are both. Let's do the older one, the tiger species. That one's been around longer. If you want, Moonflower, since you used a Google Doc to submit the content, you could easily go in and put a little comment note in the Google Doc in any specific places. You can update the document as much as you want before I get to it, and yeah, it'll work. Okay. Hello, I'm WriterGreg, and thank you for joining me for another Feedback Frenzy here on WriterGreg School of Worldcraft and Worldmancy. Thank you so much, and glad to have you here. If you would like to submit 1,500 words of fiction or a world-building article, you can visit the form at wgc.bz/submit to have yourself added to a queue and be featured in a future Feedback Frenzy. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the article of this episode. This is James Woodwright. This is his article on were tigers, not werewolves, but were tigers from his Blood Panther homepage. This is violently orange, but it works really well because of the theme of the tigers that he uses in this story. So Okay, entry for World Building Summer Camp 2022, a species that survives in an unlikely place. All right, So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. It looks pretty straightforward. Content warning. This article has major spoilers for a story I want to write during November's War, meaning NaNoWriMo 2022. Content warning, slavery. Thank you for the content warning, James. Lifespan, suspected to be longer than 262 years. James the Teleporting Tiger is suspected to be the last were-tiger. Were-tigers are built like tigers who live in cold environments, so they are bulky and are like a big, bulky tank. Body tint, coloring markings. Orange with black stripes. There are no known existence of the white with black stripes. Moonflower. It was one of the first CSS themes I made, and all I was given was tigers. Excellent. Yeah, this screams tiger. Well done. All right, so let's zoom into this a little bit. Basic information. Now, were-tigers. Werewolves is one word, is it not? So I'm not were-tiger, because I know you're talking about were-tigers, but I'm concerned that people not as familiar with your worlds would not understand that these are were-tigers in the same sense as a werewolf. So werewolf, is one word. And I believe that, okay, this is going to be weird. Were-tiger. Okay, this is a Google. Oh, were-tigers are monsters in D&D Beyond and the Forgotten Realms wiki. Interesting. Okay, so, deviant art there. I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder, but wow, that is some cool looking imagery. Okay, so I would highly recommend that this become a single word, as that is more commonly used in the D&D system. But I'm a friendly CE version and look like a four-legged tiger. Well, yes, there's a difference between You're right. There is a difference between a full transformation from human into tiger versus a humanoid tiger. There is that difference, and maybe that's something that you would need to do. But as far as search engine optimization, to make sure that if people want to search for were-tigers and having your article come up, you're more likely to be found in search engines if you were to simplify this to one word with the lowercase t. So, and if vampires are any indication, you can have so much variety of vampires that, yeah, you can explain what kind of a were-tiger you are. Were-tigers in your world can be that. Were-tigers returns the same results. Okay. All right. Let me just take a look at that. Were-tiger. Not D&D 5e. Yes, it does return the same results, but if you notice within the results, they're all one word. Were-cat. Okay. I just don't want anyone to look at your article and think were-tiger. What's a were-tiger as opposed to a were-tiger? All right. Were-tigers are hybrids of sentient tigers who can speak human languages. They can transform from human form to tiger form. They differ from sentient tigers who do not have a human form. Okay, now tiger form here, since you have lowercase human form, I would recommend lowercasing the tiger form because we're not talking about a specific tiger here, but a tiger form in generality. So I would recommend lowercasing, changing it to lowercase. Okay. This might be a good place in the anatomy to talk about how that the forms are fully one thing. These are not humanoid tigers, but actual tiger, actual human. Not much is known if two were-tigers in tiger. Not much is known if two were-tigers in tiger form mate or in human form. Their original reproduction was through a ritual that made human slaves more amiable or likable to their sentient tiger overlords. Interesting. Okay, that is an interesting concept. We don't know what happens if they reproduce because they were all transformed from human slaves. Interesting. Since not much is known with breeding, human slaves who go through the ritual to become were-tigers are at mental maturity. When they turn into tigers, they will be in full-grown tiger form. Okay. Okay, so mental maturity. Does the transformation change their intellectual level? Are they smarter as tigers, dumber as tigers? Is it equal? It stays the same? Interesting question. Now, okay. Now, this sentence is a little bit on the long side. So I would recommend breaking this up one idea per sentence as it relates to growth and stages. Human slaves who go through the ritual to become were-tigers are at mental maturity, period. Okay? This is a completely separate, independent clause. So I would recommend that it be a separate sentence. I am not a fan of putting two independent clauses together in one sentence, even if it uses a semicolon to combine them. I just say, have different things. Have that different one. Okay. And here, since not much known as breeding, I don't think this is important or pertinent information to this article, specifically with growth and rate, because I would just move this sentence into the previous section. And here you go. Since not much is known with breeding, that's an introductory clause. That is not a complete sentence because we don't know, well, since this, then what? I would remove the word since and just say, not much is known about breeding, about were-tiger breeding, and then just move it back up to the genetics and reproduction. Human slaves who go through the ritual to become were-tigers are at mental maturity, period. This is equal, as you mentioned in the chat, this is equal to their maturity and intelligence level when human. When turned into tigers, they will be in full-grown tiger form, or you could say they will become a full-grown mature tiger. I don't know. Yeah. And because you make the specification there about full grown, have any human slaves that were younger than puberty or between puberty and adulthood, a teenager, have they ever been converted? And if so, did it work? You have three options: 8, 16, 24, 36. Throw in another one there. Why not? What happens? Can you even transform? Can you turn an 8-year-old into a were-tiger? Does the 16-year-old were-tiger smaller? And if you're converted, or does the 8-year-old turn into a cub of equivalent life expectancy or size? And if they turn into a cub, are they stuck like that? Is the tiger form able to grow? If they got converted into a tiger cub, would it grow? And if they are in tiger form, does that mean that their human form doesn't age, or does it? Because if you, as an 8-year-old, become a were-tiger, and you transform into a very small, cute, cuddly tiger, and then you wait 16, 24 years before transforming again, what does that older person transform into? So is the transformation always compensatory to or equivalent to their current age? I don't know. I just think that would be funny. A person who neglects their tiger transforming ability their tiger will not age. I just think that's funny. Originally, the sentient and were-tigers came from the redacted. Okay. When we do have introductory words like that, you could or probably should have a comma afterwards and not have a capitalized letter as the second word. Were-tigers, like sentient tigers, are omnivores, regardless of their oral anatomy that makes them look like carnivores. Interesting thing here. Okay, you have sentient tigers half capitalized, as if that is a proper thing. I could understand that. Oh, sorry, James. A little bit on the yawning. Okay, but when you have sentient tigers, is that a group? Is that a name? Is that a specific person? If it is, then you can have it capitalized. But unless it's just talking about sentient tigers in general without referring to a specific one, it needs to be lowercase. And this is a good reason why you would want to have were-tiger become two words, because then you could...
Thanks for watching this feedback frenzy. Be sure to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell. WriterGreg offers coaching sessions to help bring your world to life, create compelling stories, and accomplish your creative goals. Please visit wgc.bz/coaching for more details.